everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's painting guide is for another wonderful Calpe miniatures Prussian. Gripping Beast sent me a bunch of Calpe Prussians to paint up for the channel. And this is a Napoleonic Prussian Landwehr miniature. Landwehr were a militia. And I think it's a bit interesting to paint up a drummer rather than your regular infantryman. And we're painting him as the Silesian Landwher, so that's some yellow facings. Models had a spray undercoat of Raven Black from Colourforge. Today I'm going to try and use Army Painter Fanatic range for painting this model. This is Triumphant Navy. Painting his greatcoat, avoiding cuffs and the bird's nests on the shoulders. I'm also going to use this colour for his cap. But on the front I'm going to be careful to avoid the insignia and also the strap running around the centre. Base coat colour for skin is Ruddy Umber. The drummer possibly has an additional overcoat or a piece of civilian clothing or a blanket, and I'm picking that out with uniform grey. This little gourd is getting a coat of Dryad brown. So colour for facings on Silesian Landwher regiments was lemon yellow. My base coat is Fiendish yellow. So we've got to apply this to cuffs, collar, band on the cap, and for the drummer as well, the swallow's nests. You kind of find this is sort of a white and yellow pattern, with white to the outside, then yellow. It's nicely sculpted on the Calpe model, so it's quite easy to pick out. A bit of white in there to tidy up when all said and done. Looking at the drum banding on Landwehr for Silesian regiments, you might expect to see red downward facing triangles on a white band. So let's pop in the red downward facing ones just now. So the colour that I'm using for these triangles, forgot to mention, is pure red. I've got matte white here, and there's going to be a few different things to pick out. First of all, we've got a strap for the drum. The drum itself, there's going to be the bands. Also the upward facing triangle between the red downward facing ones, or vice versa at the bottom. Trousers could be any colour. I'll use the white here. Then our swallow's nest, probably easier to see on this one. Straps for this axe. In addition, we've got the other straps. This little piece of rope hanging the gourd around the shoulders. There's the cross design on the cap. Shoulder straps, since we're doing the first battalion of Landwehr in white. And pick out the canvas packs on the back. I'm going to paint his drumsticks with some oak brown, and the same colour for the axe handle. I'm using plate mail metal to pick out the axe head. The barrel of the drum would be brass, so I'm using greedy gold. Also going to use that for buttons. With the base colours applied, I'm going to do some washes. To begin with, I've got soft tone, which is diluted 2 parts soft tone to 1 part medium. And I'm going to apply this on the lighter colours. Skin, yellows, and whites. The other wash I'm doing is with dark tone. It's diluted 2 parts wash to 1 part medium. And that's for the darker areas in the model, like the blue, the raven black primer layer that was left on the boots and other areas. Things like this bottle, the greatcoat that's wrapped up, axe handle, axe blade, drumsticks. Now that the wash is dry, I think we could call this model tabletop ready, to be honest. All the details have been picked out by the washes and some depth has been added to the colours. We'll do some highlights. You don't have to do this, completely optional. Got some Barbarian flesh to do the skin. Choice of colour for highlighting the blue is Gothic blue. This is demonic yellow, and I'm using it to highlight the facing colour. Read that described as lemon yellow, so this lighter yellow is appropriate for that. The Dryad brown was used earlier for the gourd, it's providing the highlight there, and also a very small highlight on the wood. The pure red is back on the brush to highlight. Field grey applied as a glaze, so thinned with water, to the chin adds a stubble effect. Take a few coats to get that looking good. With matte white I will highlight these straps and bags, really just keeping this to the extreme edges. The axe is getting a polished silver highlight. This is bright gold. Use it to highlight the brass drum barrel and any buttons. Here's the finished drummer, along with an NCO with the musket and officer with the sword. These are all Calpe miniatures sent to me by Gripping Beast. Nice metal figures. I've only ever heard good things about them. And having worked with them for the first time over the last couple of videos that I've done, I can say that they are excellent castings. The way they're sculpted with the deep folds and recesses means they take washes really well and require the bare minimum of highlights to get them to a good tabletop quality. If you'd like to learn more about Prussian uniforms for the Napoleonic period, I'll link a video at the end of this one that I did earlier this year, which has a guide to researching Napoleonic Prussian army and shows off some websites where you can get some easy to access information. Another option is to go to the YouTube channel Mini Agnostic. I'll put a link in the description. And the user there, he puts up some really good in-depth uniformology research during his painting guides for his Prussians. Thanks for watching. If you've got any comments about the video, please leave them in the description below and I'll get back to you. If you'd like to buy some Calpe miniatures, there will also be a link in the description to the Gripping Beast website where you can buy them for yourself, and I highly recommend it. They're excellent. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, think about sharing and subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, there's some links in the description for Patreon, Coffee, and becoming a channel member. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon for another painting guide. Bye-bye.